Hello guys, welcome you all to AI Ki Pathshala. And one very special thing today is that today is the birthday of one of my brother, student, bhai, Mr. Varun. Uh, he is a very sincere student. He is a student of NSUT, and I wish him very happy birthday. And this is the background that you can see. This background is especially today for the Varun Soni, and I wish him very happy birthday, and I wish him great success in whatever he do in his life. So I wish him immense success, and so not only success, I wish him success in whatever he does, not only in studies, in every sphere of his life. So that's all. Hi Varun. So
Hello, sir.
we will start the today. And today
Thank you,
is a
sir.
special birthday, so I will try to keep the things very special. Try to keep things very special.
Thank
So
you, sir.
now let's come to the our topic. So today, what we are going to do today is basically the 13th session in the Pandas series. So I have created one file, day13.ipynb file. And since we are going to use the same alcohol data series here, so first of all, I'm going to import this pandas and numpy. And thereafter, what I'm going to do, I am going to create this alcohol data frame. And from this data frame, I have created this alcohol series. Now, see, during the last session, we have discussed the variance. What variances? We have already understood this variance. So variance for the population and for the sample, these are the two formulas that we have studied during the last session. Now in today's session, we are going to discuss how we are going to calculate the variance. We, in a very simple way, we have this pandas give us a very simple way to calculate the variance that we already know, that if I write alcohol dot var, we will get the variance. Fine, we will get variance. If I write this thing, this is a variance. But I want to calculate the same thing. You can see this is my variance. But I want to calculate the variance with the help of the formula. This formula. Let's say this is this formula. So this time I'm going to use this formula for the population because I'm going to apply this formula on my entire alcohol series. So since I'm using my complete data, so I'm going to use this formula for the population. If I'm going to use if I'm going to use a sample of the data, then in that case, I shall use this formula. Otherwise, for population, I will use this formula. So let's first do one thing. Let's first, one by one, I'm going to calculate. What is the first thing that is there? If you will see if you will watch this formula, what is this? This is basically a data point. And this is a mean. Mu is basically a mean. So data point minus mu, mean. So basically, first thing is that alcohol dot mean. First, what I need to calculate? First, I need to calculate alcohol dot mean. Fine. After that, what is the second thing that I need to calculate? After calculating the mean, what is this? I have to subtract that mean from from the alcohol data, the values alcohol. First, I will calculate the value of the mean. I have calculated alcohol dot mean. This is the value of the mean. Now, I want to subtract that value from each one of the values. I want to subtract that mean from each one of the values of the alcohol series. So this is, so how I will do that? For doing that, what I need to do? Just I have to write alcohol dot subtract subtract, TRACT, subtract this thing. So what this will give me? This basically will give me xi minus mu, this thing. This entire thing will basically give me xi minus mu. If I will run this, this will basically give me this entire thing. This means I have calculated xi minus mu. Now, this second thing that I have to do here is I have to square it. Can you see? Xi minus mu, you need to square this. So in the next step, let's square this. So how you will square this? So you have to write this thing, and for squaring this, you have to supply it a power of, you have to do x, you have to do square 2, raised to the power 2. If I raise this entire thing to the power 2, I will get this square of all those values. So let's do it, calculate it. Here I am getting the square of all these values. So whatever negative value here, you can see it has been ruled out here. It becomes positive because we have squared it. Now next thing that what you need to do it, can you see here? After squaring, what is this? This is called summation. This symbol is summation. That means each one of the square values that you are getting here, you need to sum all those things, all those values. That is a summation. That means now the next step you need to do is to sum this all, sum it up. So if I will sum it up, let's do this. Let's sum it up. If I will sum it up, so what I will get? Let's sum it up. I am getting this thing, that now all these values get summed up. After this, what is the next thing that I need to do? I need to do this. After doing this, for calculating the mean, what I need to do? I need to do alcohol minus cont by, you have to do alcohol dot cont dot count count, and let's, if I will simply do this, shall I get the result or -1? I suppose I have to 5796 I'm getting here. So I suppose I have to use this formula and -1 here, because this is the, okay. Okay. So I have to use this formula because this data you can use, let's say, that I'm writing here. This is basically, I have derived from some other data. So it is basically a relation of, so let's calculate this mean here. If I will calculate this mean, so this alcohol dot cont means I am getting all those, this values, cont values, -1 will give me this thing. So this will give, this will basically give me the standard, sorry, variance. So this was my variance 5796.525. And with the help of this formula, I have calculated the same thing and I am getting the same value. That means this is correct. The variance that I was getting and the variance, the same variance that I am calculating from the formula, by using the formula, I am getting the same variance. This is just to make you understand how this variance formula is basically working. Fine. Now, if I need to calculate, if I will calculate, let's say, so now if, let's say, if I want to calculate the standard deviation of this series, let's say, so what I will do, I will write alcohol dot std. This will give me the standard deviation of STT like this. This will give me the standard deviation of this alcohol series. Now, I know from my previous knowledge, one thing is that square root of variance is equal to standard deviation. Let me write it here. This is one thing that you should know. Square root of variance, VARIANC, is equal to standard deviation. Square root of variance is standard deviation. Standard deviation. If you do not know, please write it. Square root of variance is equal to standard deviation. Now I am going to, so I have calculated this standard deviation. Now what I will do, and I have a variance here. I have a variance here. So if I shall square root this variance, then I should get the standard deviation if this formula is correct. If this thing will be correct, then so let's do the same thing. Let's calculate the square root of my variance. Let's do it. So how I will do? Here, in this formula, simply I'm going to do the square root here. Because this is a formula of variance. And now if I will do here simply square root and then 1 by 2. 1 by 2. What I'm getting? Okay. I have written something wrong. I have to put this thing and then I have to put this thing here. Fine. Can you see? I'm getting the same value 76.13949. Here also. Because this was my variance and I have done the square root. That means whole to the power 1 by 2. I have applied, this is the square root. And I have done the square root of the variance and I got the standard deviation. That means this formula is correct. So this was one concept that I wanted to discuss with you. Now let's erase this. Fine. So till here, any doubt? Have you understood all these things till here?
Yes, sir.
Now there is something called cumulative operations. Let me write cumulative operations. Fine. Cumulative operations. So what is this cumulative operation? So we already understood this sum. If I will write alcohol dot sum, what I will get? I will get the value of sum of all the values. This we know. Now then what is this cumulative? There is one sum called cumulative sum. This is also called cumsum. So cumsum is also name of one restaurant. If you cumsum, fine. If you do cumsum, alcohol.cumsum, let's see what it means. I'm getting this value. What this cumulative sum means, if you will compare this with this sum, alcohol.sum, the last value you are getting 8221 here also and this sum here also. So basically cumulative sum means, cumulative sum means when I'm getting the cumulative sum, if I'm going to find the cumulative sum here. So it means it is going to give me, let's say if I'm calculating first, take from here, cumulative sum here. Since this is the first value, nan, and it is having a nan, so that's why I'm not getting anything. Now, whenever I will keep on coming down from here, let's say here I am here till 68. So this value is basically sum of all the previous values till here. This value is basically, if you will calculate, let's calculate 54 plus 68 and plus this value, you will get 380. Fine. Whatever value is present here, you will get the sum of all the values till that point. Let's understand this. Let me write this here. Let's access this alcohol series. Alcohol dot head. Let's say alcohol. Sorry, alcohol dot head. So now see here. See, take here, first take this from in Algeria. Let's take this Algeria. So what is the value of Algeria? 14. And what is the value before Algeria? 54. So when you calculate 54 plus 14, what you will get? 68. So I'm getting 68 here. Now take Andorra. This Andorra. Andorra is having 312 values. So this 312 plus all the values before it. So all the values before it is 68. Now sum 312 into it. I'm getting what? 380. Now sum of the values still here is 380. And your next value is Angola. Angola is 45. So add 45 to this 380. What I'm getting? 425. So what it means, this cumulative sum basically gives me this sum of all the previous values plus the values plus the index position at which you are calculating the values. So this will, in this way, you will get the values of till end. If you will just let me scroll it a little. Let's say here Zimbabwe is there. So Zimbabwe is the last index. So here what I'm getting this sum of all the values before it and the value of Zimbabwe itself. Let's say if I will see this Zambia. So this Zambia will be having sum of all the values before Zambia and the value of Zambia. So this is how I'm getting the cumulative sum. Do you understand this cumulative sum? How this cumulative sum, how you are getting the cumulative sum here? Similarly, so you can represent, but the end value, the last value in the cumulative sum will always be equal to the alcohol dot sum, because at the end it will calculate all the sum, all the values before it. So that's why it will be equal to the cum sum. Now, one important thing is that now you must be wondering that earlier during the previous sessions, last session, I have already told you that this when you add anything inside the NAN, it will give you 0. But why I am not getting 0 when I am adding this NAN here? This is because I have told you np dot, if I will write np dot nan, nan np dot nan, plus anything, let's say any value, if you will do, you will get nan. And pd dot nan, nan na, nan, I suppose pd dot na, I suppose this will also give you any value. So this will also give you any nan. So pd dot na plus, let's say any value, this will always give you na. So why I'm not getting this? Because there's one parameter inside this cumsum. Let's discuss this. And that parameter is skip na. And by default, this is true. By default, this skip na parameter is true. So whenever I am calculating this, I am not, it is skipping this na values. Skip na parameter is true. If you make this parameter false, then all the values you will get none, because this time, well, calculating the sum of the previous values, when it is doing the sum of the previous value, it is ignoring or it is skipping the nan values, and it is not considering it during the summing operation. If you will make the skip na parameter false, then it will start taking into consideration all the nan values also. And if any nan value will come in the sum, then your entire value will become nan. Let's do a skip na is equal to, let's make this parameter false, false, and now see what I will get. Can you see? I'm getting everything nan here. So this concept is also clear. And I have already explained you this thing also. pd dot na and nan in the previous session also. So whatever value you will add inside a nan, everything it will convert into nan. In the same way in which this cumulative sum is working, in the same way the cumulative product is also works. Let's first calculate dot prod. This will give me the product. This will give me the cumulative product. So what cumulative product? The way we have calculated the, let's first calculate the product. This is my product. Dot product, if I will write alcohol dot prod, and fine, this is my product. Now can you see the product? It is giving the product of all the values present in my alcohol series. But if you use alcohol dot cum prod, this will give you the cumulative product. So can you see? It is calculating the product of its previous values also. At whichever point, let's take Andorra. So at this point, it is calculating the product from Andorra till the beginning. And here also, skip na parameter is true. By default, it is true. So it is ignoring this nan values. This is how cumulative product is calculated. And let's say if you will do this thing, this is my alcohol dot cum product, cumulative product. So let's say if I want to access my last value of this, how you will access the last value? -1. If you will access the last value, what I'm getting? 3.42. 7612E. This is equivalent to this thing. Can you see? This is equivalent to this thing. That means the this is equivalent to, in fact, the product. And if you will do this thing, like, is if you will compare alcohol dot product, PROD, let's see what you will get. You will get true. That means this product value and the last value that you are getting is same. True. Fine. One more thing is that is called cumulative minimum and cumulative maximum. Cumulative minimum and cumulative maximum. Now, let's first see how you will calculate the minimum value. Let's say this is the alcohol in the alcohol series. If I want to calculate the minimum value, I will write alcohol dot mean, and I am getting this minimum value 1.0. This is fine. Now, if I will write alcohol dot cum minimum, MIN, so what I will get? Let's calculate. Can you see? It will give you, let's say I'm in Afghanistan. I am at Afghanistan. So it is not fine. After that, Albania. So it is giving me the minimum value till here. So since this is the only value till here, after that, Algeria is coming. So now 14. Now, till here, till Angola, or even beyond that, all the values, since now 14 is the minimum value, so it will keep on giving you 14. Now, as soon as it will encounter 1, let's say anywhere, so now 1 is the minimum value inside this series, so it will keep on giving me the 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is how the cumulative minimum works. Do you get this point, Varun? How this cumulative minimum is working?
Yes, sir.
So in the same concept is same concept where what we have discussed in the sum, cumulative product, and cumulative minimum. So here only the thing is that as soon as it encounters this any value that is minimum till there, so it will keep on displaying till it will encounter the next minimum value. So at one point, what it will do, it will encounter this one value. And since 1 is the minimum value inside this series and there is no other value before less than it, so this after that it will keep on displaying 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Same works for alcohol dot max. So if I will write alcohol dot max, what shall I get? I will get maximum value 339. And if I write alcohol dot cummax dot cummax, let's see what I will get. See. So it will keep on giving the maximum value, but till that point. But as soon as it will encounter this 339, because there is no value greater than 8, so it will keep on giving 339, 339, 339. This is how the alcohol.cummax works. Now, there is one another thing here, and that is called pairwise differences with diff. So let's talk about this. This is very exciting thing, and this is a very exciting new method, and this is very useful in data science. This pairwise difference. Let me write here pairwise difference. Difference with def. Pairwise difference with def. So, what is not different differences with diff? So, this is very useful in data science, especially when we will be working with time series data. And diff is used to calculate the discrete difference of pair of elements in a series. So there will be a difference between one element and the other element. So let's understand this with the help of code. Let's say if I write alcohol dot head. Let me write it. So I'm getting this. Now let's do one thing. Let's write alcohol dot diff and dot head. I am showing you by first 5 meter, by first 5 things. So if I will write alcohol dot diff dot head, let's see what I am getting. Okay, to write this thing. Fine. So how this is working? Let's understand this first. How this difference method is working. Alcohol dot diff. How this diff is working. This is a pairwise difference. Now, what it is doing, first it is calculating the difference of every next element from the previous element. What it means, every next element, it is calculating the difference of every next element from its previous elements. So here, let's say nan, there is no element before it, fine. Now let's talk about this 54. So I am getting this nan here, fine. Now let's talk about this 54. What is the value before 54? Varun?
Sir, nan.
Nan. And if I will subtract 54 minus nan, what shall I will get?
Nan.
Because we have understood this. If I add anything, if I subtract anything, if I multiply anything in a nan value, I will get the nan only. So that's why 54 minus nan, I am getting nan here. Now what is after 54? This 14 is there. 14 minus 54. What will be the value if I subtract 14 minus 54?
Minus 40, sir.
Minus 40. So I am getting this minus 40 here. Now if I subtract 312 minus 14, what shall I get? 298.
298, sir.
I am getting 298 here. Now if you subtract this 45 minus 312, you will get this minus 267. Minus 267. So have you understood how this pair difference is working? It is basically calculating the difference of the subsequent value from its previous value. Do you understand? So here, this difference is calculating. That's why this is how this pair difference is working. Now, one thing is that pairwise difference with diff. Now, one thing is that by default, let's say, let's do one thing. By default, the period of this, the period is 1 here in this case. If I'm not mentioning anything, the period is 1. If let's say you will add a period, let's add period is equal to 2. There's a parameter inside this def called periods. And if you add this parameter, let's say do it 2. So now it will calculate the diff. Now this, how this will calculate? It will work. Now it will calculate difference of these, now this subsequent difference will not get calculated. It will calculate difference of like 1 and this and this. It will skip one element, subsequent element, and it will calculate the difference of the next element. That means in this case, it will calculate the difference of, let's write here, it will calculate the difference of this thing, this and this and this. Do you want getting point? So if it will calculate difference of nan, this thing will be nan. Then 50, then it will calculate difference of this thing minus this thing. It will calculate difference of, that means it will calculate, it will take 2 periods to calculate the difference. So if you will mention the period is equal to 2, so it will take 2 periods. By default, the period is equal to 1. One more thing is that, let's say, if I will mention the periods is equal to -1. Periods is equal to -1. Let's write period is equal to -1 and see what I am getting. If I will write period is equal to -1, so what will happen? What period is equal to -1 will give? See, this is calculating the difference from the beginning. If I will write period is equal to -1, it will start calculating the difference from the end. Are you getting my point? Let's
Yes, sir.
Let's don't write here head, and now see. Can you see? It has started calculating the difference from the end. So if I will mention the period is equal to -1, so no, sorry. I suppose no. This is not for period is equal to -1. Uh, that's right. Let's write here alcohol dot head. Let's no. So see, if I will write period is equal to -1, then in that case, instead of calculating, see here, let me correct myself. If I will write period is equal to -1, so earlier what was happening? It is calculating the difference of, let's say, 14 minus 50. Fine. So I was getting -40. Now it is calculating the opposite of it. Now it is calculating the 14 minus 54. Sorry, 54. Now, when I have changed this period to -1, now this will get reversed. Like now it is getting 14 minus 50. And I'm sorry, not this thing. Now it is calculating 54 minus 14. So I am getting 40 here. Earlier it was calculating difference of 14 minus 54 when the period was 1. Now it will calculate the difference of this thing 54 minus 14. Thereafter 14 minus 312, that is minus 298. 312 minus 45, 312 minus 45. I am getting this 267 like this. So just it will reverse the order of subtraction or the difference. Do you got this point, Varun?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So this is how the three parameters is there I have discussed. One, by head, if I am calculating the diff, so by default, my parameter is set to 1. If I want to change the parameter, I have to use this period, and whatever period I want to, or this is also called lag, I can change the period. If I want to reverse it, I have to simply write period is equal to -1. So, what I need to tell you that honestly, in this series of wine servings, where each level constitutes country, this method does not have a whole lot of usability or meaning yet. But I wanted you to introduce it as early as possible, this diff method, so that when it resurfaces later in the course, especially when we begin to talk about this time series data, it will be something that we are already familiar with. So this is all till here. So this is all for the day. So now in the next session, we were going to discuss something else. And what we were going to discuss, maybe we are going to discuss series iteration. Fine. So let's uh, commit this code to GitHub. Today is the 13th session, 13th session of Pandas completed. Fine. Let's commit it. No, cancel it. First save this code. Fine. Now commit it. Yes. Sync changes. Fine. So my code is committed. That's all for the day. We will continue our discussion from where we have left today in the 14th session. So guys, keep coming. And if you want to join my live session, you can just go to the description section of the video and join my Telegram channel from there. By joining the Telegram channel, what I used to do, I used to post all the live session joining link there, and whatever important informations and notes and everything, I used to put it there. So you can join the Telegram channel, and by joining the channel, you can have an access to all my live sessions free of cost. So that's all. Take care, and we will meet tomorrow. Thanks, guys.